What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the tavern. I'm Spencer,
And I'm Eli.
and this is Bardic Blunders. And today we got some juicy drama. Uh, I'm a tad late on it. I know. I mean, it's still ongoing, so not technically late, but still, it's been developing. Uh, Pirate Software. People don't like him right now, and for a bit, I kind of chalked it up to, oh, people are mad about a video game. It's not a big deal. You know, hey, Bug, hey, Ian. But I was just like, oh, it's just stupid video game drama. It's lame. Grow up. It's a video game.
Yeah.
But it turns out there's a whole heck of a lot more than just that. It's a whole list. So first of all, with that, if anybody doesn't know what the WoW drama is, he's playing on a hardcore server, which means if you die, you die. Your character's gone. You have to start over. And he was in a guild, a bunch of people sunk hundreds of hours into it. He made a misplay, a lot of people died. Whatever. That part, what's up, Razor Bolt? That part, I'm still like, who cares? It's a video game. Oh no, it's 100 hours that you get to play a video game again. I know it's frustrating to lose progress in a video game, but to like legitimately cause issues over that is ridiculous. And he's doing it too. So, but the issue isn't in what happened, it's the way he's handling it. And he's kind of revealed himself to be a massive egotist. Uh Basically refusing to take any of the blame for what was done, even though multiple people have said that he absolutely could have saved the other people. Blaming everybody else, creating this whole thing, banning a bunch of people. Anybody who brings it up in chat, he just bans them. He's proudly proclaiming that he's banned 30,000 people in like the last week for some of this stuff. That's ridiculous. Come to find out, he's done some of the exact same stuff in other MMOs. He made a misplay in the newer one, Ashes of Creation. Blamed it on a bunch of other people. Said he'd ban whoever did it. Then it turned out to be him. Didn't admit fault to it. I think he has now, but still, he continually, for weeks after that, refused to admit fault. He's well known in the EVE Online community for being a piece of crap. There's just so much. It's mountains and mountains of stuff. And I'd like to say, I came out and I defended. I won't say defended. Defended is not the right word. I kind of just hand waved all of it. I'm like, oh, who cares? It's video game stuff. Who cares? But now that I've looked into more of it, no, I don't think he's a good person. I mean, he does good things. He does good things. There's no doubt about that. I think a lot of his shorts still have value, but when you look at, there's all of that stuff. He proclaims to be some super hacker, mega dev, like, oh, he's just the coolest guy on the block. I don't know if y'all knew this. Oops. Get rid of that. I don't know if y'all knew this, but Steam added a new feature that tells you if an indie game has been worked on. So if it's an indie game that's in early access, it will tell you, hey, this is the last time a dev has updated this project. He's good when you only get to listen to him for 1 minute max. Well, the thing is, a lot of his shorts are like motivational stuff. And I can't rag on that. Like, a lot of the stuff he says in the shorts is good. But the thing is, he's created this online persona that isn't who he is. He's lying about who he is. So I'll pull up on Steam right now. You can see right here. This is Heartbound's page, which I do need to remove from my wish list real quick. This is Heartbound's page. You'll see recent reviews, mostly negative. And if you look right here, Steam's new feature, the last update made by the developers was over 14 months ago. This is from a man who talks about how he's always coding and oh man, this game we're constantly working on this game. We're constantly blah 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 blah. He hasn't updated it in 14 months, over a year. Since December of 2023 was the last time he updated Heartbound. That's ridiculous. You can't claim to be a developer and be always developing your game. Oh, I'm working, 16 hours a day. No, you're not. You're streaming 16 hours a day. You're playing video games 16 hours a day. Don't lie and act like you're, doing all this hard work on the game when you're clearly not. You haven't updated it in 14 freaking months, dude. But it's like after this whole WoW drama, his whole house of cards is starting to fall, and it's interesting to watch because he blew up really quickly. I think it was around 23, right? 23 or 24. I don't remember exactly when he blew up. But he did. It was YouTube Shorts. Everybody started seeing him in YouTube Shorts.
Yeah,
and that's what blew him up. But it's not any one thing. It's the collective of things that build up to show how egotistical he is, how he's willing to lie if it makes him look good. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like it. I can't support somebody.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Cheese. But and this isn't even to mention. Oh, we're talking about Pirate Software, Cheese. All the drama that's been going on recently. This isn't even getting into all of the other stuff that's like. It's been dug up that his first online persona went by the name, which I have to thank Group for this. Group dropped this in chat a few streams ago. I think actually last Bardic Blunders, he dropped it in chat. And I went and did all this research on it. Quick explanation of what was said so far. All of the video game drama, while the video game stuff itself doesn't matter, has shown that Pirate Software has a huge ego and is willing to lie about stuff to make himself look better than he is. There's a ton of stuff we haven't even touched on. I haven't mentioned yet that, like, he's a nepo baby. He talks
okay. What is a nepo baby? I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
I keep hearing it on the. No, I keep hearing it on the internet, and I keep going. I don't understand what this means, but sure, whatever.
So a nepo baby is, I'm pretty sure nepo is short for nepotism. A nepo baby is someone who did not earn their spot in a company. They were gifted it because they had a family member, usually a parent, in place. So if you look at, like, the owner of the Raiders, Mark Davis is only the owner of the Raiders because his dad was the owner of the Raiders. Even then, I guess that's really just like passing it down. So, okay. Picture if I got really high in management, I'm like a regional manager for a company I work at, and my son or daughter who has no qualifications for a job gets the job and then quickly gets promoted because they're related to me. That's what a Nepo baby is. They don't actually deserve their position. They're getting it because of their parent. So it's basically used to describe somebody who's undeserving of a job, who's only getting it as a benefit of having a parent or, uncle or whoever working at the company. And that's exactly what happened with Pirate. His dad was one of the first 10 people to work at Blizzard, and he got a job as a result. If you look at some of his coding, I'll pull up the actual... Excuse me. The actual article that I was article, quote unquote. It's not really an article. It's on Kiwi Farms, so it's just people who gathered all this stuff and posted it. But some of the Nepo baby accusations are proven when you take a look at his code. Where I know they had pictures of it. Okay. Open image, new tab. It's really blurry, so sorry, but look at this. Look at this code right here. So this is something that even as rudimentary as I am at coding, I'm the guy who couldn't figure out JavaScript. Because, JavaScript was tough for me, but I couldn't figure out JavaScript. I can look at this and recognize what an absolute disaster this code is. Like, this is how you coded it? You just did a bunch of individual... what are we doing here? Every story decision is an arbitrary number in an arbitrary list, or rather, arbitrary location in a big list. It's just a list. What is this? It's copy-pasted. If you don't know code, the reason this is terrible is because, okay, what if we have a bug in here? Something's not functioning correctly in this page. You then have to spend hours scrolling through here to try and figure out the right one. Or you have to have some sort of spreadsheet or notebook or something that just has a bunch of numbers written down in it and telling you, basically rewriting all of this somewhere else, which is not as efficient either. This is terrible. This is terribly structured, and that's not the end of it. Here's a bunch of other examples. A lot of these look like code that I would write. I am a novice coder. This is a guy who claims to be some master programmer who has worked in the gaming industry for 20 years. Who claims to be one of the world's top hackers. This is not legitimate. It's baffling. It's baffling. And I understand there's a lot of people online lie about who they are. Because I don't get it. They want to make people think they're cooler than they are. There's got to be some sort of pride in that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I get there's a lot more people who are like, oh, I need to be super important for one reason or another, but I don't understand that personally. But
you're asking the wrong dude. I'm happy being a fucking moron.
Yeah,
it's funnier this way.
Well, yeah, you don't need to overstate who you are. I'm just a dude. I haven't accomplished much at all. I try and be a good person. That's about the best that I got. Like, I don't need to talk myself up. I don't start off introductions being like, why, yes, hello, I have beaten a Dark Souls game at Soul Level 1. Look at how incredible I am. Like, it's just like, I don't understand it. I did that because it was fun. And I wanted to stream Dark Souls 3. I don't know. Whatever. But it's like, he lies about all this, including he's also lied. He talks about how he's a master hacker. He got I don't remember the name of the awards, but he got the awards for being some master hacker. He doesn't mention that he was part of a team that did that. It was not all him. With the whole EVE Online stuff, he acts like all the stuff that happened was him. It was his decision. It was not him. It was a collective decision by a bunch of people. He likes to... He talked about Mr. Robot, the TV show, be like, oh man, Mr. Robot's bad because it stole my write-up. It wasn't his write-up. And the guy they took it from later worked for the show and was like, yeah, it's cool. He's just like, I'm personally frustrated because he's someone that I thought was a great person. And
yeah. It turns out he was not.
I kind of looked up to him. Because like, oh, he's a fantastic coder. He's what I want to be. I aspire to be that. He's a good person. He encourages people. He makes video games. He plays video games. Like, he's funny. He's entertaining. All of that stuff. And it's all a lie. Like, you know what? I'm not going to trash on him like, I'm not going to be like some of the people who are saying he's just an irredeemable person. I don't think that. Because, like I said, a lot of the shorts that he makes still have value, regardless of if it's him that's saying them. Because, you know, anybody can make video games. Absolutely. You sit there and learn to code and make a video game. 100%. You don't have to be the best in the world at it. That's right. There's a lot of other things that he says. Like, what was he's had a lot of motivational ones that strike chords. And
yeah.
Like, that's all good stuff. But it's tough when that's not who he is.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's why if I seem like a little I'm trying to explain this. If I seem a little frantic in my explanations, it's because it is frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating to me. Exactly, Razorbolt. It hurts that I'm looking at somebody. It would be the equivalent of if like Markiplier came out as this massive asshole. I would feel destroyed. Like, yeah. That's somebody who I look up to and I think is a fantastic person. Obviously, Pirate Software wasn't around as long as Markiplier, but still, it's like it just sucks. Do I think he's irredeemable? No. But at the same time, he's lied about who he was for the better part of 20 years. And he's almost 40. So I don't think he's going to change. And that's unfortunate. He's still striking down. Yeah. I didn't even touch on the fact that he almost got into a lawsuit over the dumbest thing in the world because some indie developer on Steam was posting things on Reddit where it was clips from his game that had Pirate Software's voice in it. Wasn't really in the game. It was just a Reddit bait thing, which, yeah, crappy because it's
advertisement.
Misleading advertisement. Yeah, it's
yeah.
That I don't agree with that, but when dude immediately freaks out that this indie dev has put him his voice in his game and is like, "Oh, I'm going to sue you. I have a lawyer right here." that's, my friend. And then when a Good Samaritan lawyer decides to represent the other dude, because it was never on a build accessible by the public. There was never a build on Steam that had Pirate Software's voice in it. They then backed down immediately because, one, the guy he purported was a lawyer is a lawyer, yes, but he's not an attorney. And if you don't know what the difference is, a lawyer is somebody who is gone through law school.
Okay, yeah, yes. A lawyer means that you have gone through law school. It's a title. But an attorney is somebody practicing law.
Who is licensed to practice law. So,
correct.
His buddy may be a lawyer, but he can't.
It's not that big of a difference, but
it's a
minutia thing.
It's minutia, but yeah, it does matter, because saying, "Oh, hey, my buddy's a lawyer and he'll help me sue you." If your buddy's not an attorney, if he's not licensed to practice law, he is just as good as anybody else. He can't help you in any way. The best he can do is provide some sort of legal advice. But he can't actually represent you. He can't he can't do any of that by law.
Yeah.
So there's that whole misleading thing. And now he's banning anybody who brings that up too. Calling them trolls and saying, "Oh, they're assholes, oh, they suck, blah, 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 blah. I don't want anybody like that in my community." There's a lot. There's a lot. And that's not even getting into there's weird stuff that was old stuff. Like, his original online persona was a furry. Like, hardcore furry, and that's it. If you look up the name Maldavius Fig Tree, that was his persona. And I want to say right now, I am not levying any accusations. I am not doing anything like that. But it's a little weird to me that he had a ferret persona that he did sexual things with on the internet, and now he owns a ferret rescue. That's a little weird to me. I'm not going to make any claims, but that's weird to me. What is a hardcore fur? I'm meeting a furry who's not just like, "Oh, I like anthropomorphic animals." He was doing the weird stuff, is what I'm saying. A lot of the other stuff is that I've read is wild accusations that don't have any basis. Like, oh, he ditched his wife to go off to some gay commune in Canada. Like, I saw all sorts of different stories like that don't seem to have any evidence. It's just people throwing out stories. The ferret twerking gif emote. Yeah, like that. Also, what's up, Adam? I don't know. I'm not gonna make any sort of solid claims there. It's provable he was a furry, which I'll always find weird. I'm sorry. I know people try and make it like, "Oh, no, furries aren't that weird." I'm sorry. That's not something I can't. I can give people a lot of grace. I can look past a lot of things. That's not something I can look past. That one's weird. That's always going to be weird to me. But regardless, putting that aside, all the other stuff, it's just disappointing. And the fact that he doesn't seem to have the self-awareness, blame Disney. The fact that he doesn't seem to have the self-awareness to be like, yeah, I messed up. Because I mean, now there's some of the WoW stuff he is. He's like, okay, yeah, that was kind of my fault, but it's everybody's fault. And he's like still being an ass about it. Never meet your heroes, kids.
They always seem to disappoint.
Yeah, what furry? I mean, like, you can look up. You know what? I think I can drop links in here. Fair warning. Oh, also, I'd like to point out too, his name isn't actually Thor. His name is Jason. I mean, I think his middle name is Thor,
right?
But I don't know. But I will post this in here. Full warning, there's some of his old furry art in here, and there is a lot of stuff that I don't agree with. You know, some stuff that's just like throwing out accusations that don't have a ton of evidence for them. So I won't support all that. But if you at least want to see all the different stuff about him, I'll drop in the chat in just a second, it's a lot. And I wouldn't blame people for not reading it all, but oh, that's the other thing that we didn't touch on. His take on freaking don't kill games. It's truly mind-blowing to me, his takes on don't kill games. Stop killing games, rather, I should say. That's the link for the thread. Once again, there's a lot of stuff in here that's lacking evidence, I'll say. See, between two consenting adults, yeah, I get that. Posting it all over the internet, I'll never agree with. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're just some OnlyFans chick. I don't care if you're doing really weird, degenerate stuff on the internet. If you're posting it on the internet, I'm always going to frown upon that. I just think that's bad. Like, keep it to yourself. But, yeah, his whole take on stop killing games. Oh, stop killing games is bad. Oh, it's hard for the devs. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. It's unbelievably ironic to me that a guy with the title Pirate Software is like the biggest industry shill for video games. It's insane. It would not be that hard to keep most live service games running. People can make their own independent servers. Like, the devs just have to give them the ability to. Plenty of games do that. WoW runs on independent servers. That's how you get people who play classic WoW. League used to have classic servers before Riot shut it down.
Yeah.
People are capable of it. So I also fully disagree. I have fully disagreed with his takes on stop killing games since that started. Because it's asinine to me. You're arguing against the preservation of these fantastic games. Yeah, we've talked about most of the pirate stuff, Alex. We're still hanging on to it, but it's closer to the tail end. But yeah, the whole stop killing games thing. We'll use one that just died as an example. Ian, Stop Killing Games is an initiative a guy was setting up to basically put something into law to keep video game companies from killing a live service game. So, for an example, The Crew. The Crew is a racing game, if nobody knows, from like mid-2000s. I don't remember exactly when it released, but I want to say like 2013. racing game that lets you drive across the entire continental United States. Pretty cool. Like, you can literally drive from Detroit to Miami. Obviously, it's not to scale, but still a pretty interesting game. Ubisoft just, I think it was last year, or it might have been 2023. It's all blur now, but Ubisoft killed the game. They basically said, hey, yeah, no, we don't want to support this game anymore. Oh, okay, so you're going to put it in a state that people can play it offline? Because the game requires an internet connection to play. Oh, no, we're just going to shut it down. So me,
Yeah.
I own, granted I didn't pay full price for it, I bought it at GameStop, but I own a disc of The Crew for the PlayStation 4. That thing is junk. The disc is junk. I paid for a physical item, and it's now junk because they don't support the game anymore. They didn't put it out so people could make public servers. They didn't do anything like that. That's ridiculous. So this guy wanted to set up a thing, basically making it a government mandate that you can't do that. You can't have somebody pay for a product and then take it away from them at a later date. I don't remember the exact wording, but it's for this specific instance. Because this is becoming a trend for a lot of games, especially AAA games that are live service. Oh, we don't want to do this anymore. Okay, it's gone. Nobody can play it anymore. Now that's lost media. So he wanted to set this up to prevent that. Pirate Software was firmly against it for some unknown reason. It legitimately does not compute. I don't understand. What's your problem with this? Oh no, the devs have to do a little bit of work and release something that lets people run their own servers. It's out of their hands at that point. Like, I don't understand what his vendetta is against this. And it's to the point now where he won't even have a conversation with the guy trying to set it up. He's throwing a little pissy fit about this thing. Oh, it's hard for developers. Oh, He even said the statement, you paid for the experience, you had the experience, now we can take it away from you. Yeah. The experience is over, so you don't get the choice on whether to keep it or not. It's not his exact wording, but it is pretty much, hey, you played it, you got to experience it, now we can take it away from you. I'm sorry. I disagree. I think that's wrong. I think if you pay for something, you should get it. It should be yours. 100%. I paid money for this. Why should you have the ability to take it away from me when you feel like it? That's a terrible precedent to set with anything. There's already issues with that on online storefronts for a lot of like video games and music and stuff like that. Steam is one of the only things that is user-friendly in that aspect. The only way you're getting your Steam library deleted is if you do something terrible, and it's only happened on a few occasions that they've just outright deleted somebody's account, and Steam does have a thing that says if your account is deleted, they won't transfer your games. But you have to do something incredibly egregious. Not just, oh, hey, I cheated in a game. Or, oh, hey, like, you have to be scamming people on Steam. Or you have to do something pretty significant to get that taken down. But it's been proven in other online stuff that people are willing to take something away from somebody who doesn't share the same political opinion as them, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, people are petty and they will do that kind of thing. I think that's bad. I think that's a bad precedent to set. I think once you've purchased it, I don't care if it's digital media that requires some sort of connection. You should still be able to have it. It should still be yours.
Yeah.
See, Alex, I don't think they'd have to have staff still working on games like the crew. I don't believe they'd have to have staffs. All they would have to do is say, okay, we're ending online support for the crew. Here is one final patch that allows it to be played offline. You won't have any access to online races or anything like that anymore. But you can still play all of the single player functions of the game just fine. That is one patch, and then they can ditch the game. They never have to look at it again. I mean, yeah, this is more about the removal of games, but I still think there should be some sort of protection against having media you purchased taken from you. And there's just nothing in the way of that right now. And as things become more digital, it's going to be easier to start taking things from people. Take a look at China. China has a whole social credit system. If you say the wrong thing, China will take money out of your account, essentially. Your social credit goes down. I know that, oh, it's a joke. Oh, you said something. Oh, that's the loss of social credit over here. It's legitimate in China. If you don't have the right opinions, you lose money. I just think it's a dangerous precedent to set. To be like, hey, you know, you can argue, oh, it's just a video game now, but it's just a video game turns into it's just a movie, turns into it's just insert thing here that you've purchased. It snowballs. Now, I've kind of gone off on a tangent now, but ultimately, I'm disappointed in Pirate Software. It sucks to see someone who I looked up to turn out to be
being legit.
Egotistic. Yeah, it's like, I mean, the patch might be big, but like, see, the crew is the example because it completely got killed off. There are other MMOs and other stuff like, you know, yes, that you're right. Social credit isn't money, but it affects what you can buy. Exactly. Yeah, he is a Blizzard bro. He is a huge Blizzard shill. That's another thing. I saw claims. I know it's been made pretty clear that he's a nepo baby, but I saw a lot of things saying he'd been fired from Blizzard like 8 times and rehired and stuff like that, and that he was a QA tester. He was never a developer. Oh, Alex, have you looked at his code base? I wanted to, because you actually understand coding. You understand programming. Have you seen his code for Heartbound? Because it looks terrible. It hurts me physically to look at. But yeah, it's frustrating. One of the tough parts too is there's going to be a lot of stuff that it's in. If you go on that link I sent earlier, the Kiwi Farms link. It's around halfway down the page. Yeah, just short of halfway. There's a couple of examples of just how vile it is. It's the one that gets me, the one that hurts me the most. I'll pull it back up because why not? This one hurts me the most. This just hurts so much to look at. There's no structure to it. He didn't even space the lines out. It's just a giant ass list. Like, that's a mess. I hate that. Oh, yeah, I know the code for Undertale is a mess, but the difference is, what's his face? Toby Fox didn't claim to be some master programmer, like some insane galaxy brain. Oh, I've been in the video game industry for 20 years. That's my issue with it. Because you know what? I'll pull the other ones back up. As somebody who is a novice coder, a lot of these look like something I would code. But I have been coding for a couple years, but really I haven't honed my craft, so to speak. I still can't figure out JavaScript, for crap's sake. I'm terrible at JavaScript. But this looks like the kind of code I would write. He claims to be a master programmer. Yeah, that's right, Riz. He isn't a game dev, he's a composer who threw together a game. Yeah, well, and that's why it's so funny that Undertale works as well as it does. But it is also hilarious to go and look at the code and realize what a mess. Yeah, that's the other difference. Toby Fox actually put out a game. This guy hasn't. He just talks about how incredible of a programmer he is. And I worked at Blizzard for 20 years and I understand the game industry. But 14 months. This game has been in early access since I've been in high school. Like 2017. Was, I think, when it got greenlit. It was supposed to come out in 2018. It's now 2025. The game hasn't been updated since 2023. I'm pretty sure, I might have to double check this, but I'm pretty sure Toby Fox made Undertale in less than 14 months. Undertale development time. Okay, 32 months. I was wrong. But still, 32 months. Was an independent developer. 32 months. Not even an actual game dev. He made a game in 32 months. It's been almost 10 years and Pirate Software's game hasn't come out. Like, I don't know what else to say. Legitimately. That's the most damning thing that it's unbelievable. Yeah, right, Alex? It's terrible. It's hard to look at. Like, the big block of code, it's just disgusting. All the other stuff...
Yeah, I don't know anything that's going on, so...
I know you don't know the code stuff, but the thing that should tell you it is he's making Heartbound. I showed it on Steam earlier because I used to... Oh, I actually still have it up. Heartbound. This one. You've probably seen this logo with the yellow and purple heart.
I don't have the stream pulled up.
But well, I was talking to Alex, but
I see how it is.
I mean, if you want to pull the stream, I'm sure you've seen it too. But this is the thing. Last update over 14 months ago. But like the other stuff that's just like pretty much basic if-then statements, that's something I would write. But I'm also not really even a developer. I haven't figured out how to use most programming languages. He's playing Civ. That's why the stream's not up. Yeah, I know he's playing Civ. I saw him open it before we started streaming.
Hey.
But yeah, the just a bunch of if then statements. When you start coding, your code looks like trash. I mean, I don't know if I still have. I think I've deleted most of the coding stuff I had for my class that I was doing, but it looked like trash. My code looked like trash, but I was actively learning how to code. I was in a class learning how to code. He's somebody who says, I've been in this for 20 years. He thinks he's so cool. Game you want to see the code for is Manor Lords. There's a lot of games I'd like to see the code for. Yandere Dev. Yes! Oh my gosh. Freaking Yandere Simulator, where the entire code base is just a collection of if, else if then, all that kind of... Oh boy. That's the other thing. He's like, oh, we're doing a development stream. And then he sits there and stares at code for 10 minutes and then goes off to play video games again. You know what? If you don't want to make your game anymore, or if you're no longer the primary developer on your game, if it's other people behind the scenes that you've hired, and you want to focus on your streaming career and building an audience, fine. There's no issue with that, but don't lie to people about it. And that's the thing. He's lied about it constantly.
Yeah.
But we spent 45 minutes on this, so I'd like to to move on to the next topic. You like visual coder stuff like Unreal Engine, typing out C++. Gives you a headache. Yeah. Well, and that's the way, sitting there and trying to figure out JavaScript, especially when I had to listen to some monotone guy try and present it, was just mind-numbing. And it just never clicked. Whenever I messed with Python, it clicked. I'm not great at it, but I at least was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Same with HTML, same with CSS. Those clicked. It was just like oh, okay, that makes sense. JavaScript never clicked. I never picked up on JavaScript. This is the type of thing where I am such and such only because they got a degree instead of having actual experience. Yeah, pretty much. I don't even know if he has a degree, though. I think it's entirely possible he got his job at Blizzard because of his dad and then proceeded to be a QA tester for 20 years. And maybe, I'm sure he has some knowledge. I'm not going to, downplay all of it, but he's not as phenomenal as he proclaims himself to be. He used a toaster. I mean, yeah, the code's not good. It's not good. But the next thing we want to talk about is how I've mentioned I've had my little tangents about journalism and how I think journalism is dead. Because journalism's all about money now, as many other things are. But when you're looking at journalism, you go on to CNN, you go on to Fox, you go on to, New York Post, New York Times, whatever, any of these news sites, even if you want to go with video game stuff, Kotaku and that kind of stuff, it's all about a narrative. It's all about, okay, hey, I'm going to slide you a crisp $50 to write an article playing up my game, talking about how good the game is. Hey, I'm going to pass you $700 and I want you to write an article absolutely gushing about the new Marvel movie. That's what journalism is. But there is a saving grace, a light at the end of the tunnel for journalism, and I think that's YouTube. I know YouTube has been used for a lot of things. You want to learn how to fix something on your car? Look it up on YouTube. You want to learn how to make something? Look it up on YouTube. YouTube has become the catch-all for all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. But it's truly dawned on me recently just how effective YouTube journalists are. And there's a couple of examples that I can provide that I watch myself. There's one YouTuber named Megalag who he's the one who exposed the Honey sponsorship scam. He also exposed colorblind glasses, brought the whole fact that colorblind glasses are a fraud, are just a scam, to the forefront. He's done a lot of stuff like that. And funny enough, only 22 videos on his channel. But every single one of them is an absolute banger. But he's done a lot of stuff like that. Another one I'd like to highlight is CoffeeZilla. He has covered a lot of crypto scams and, stuff like that, like money laundering schemes, all sorts of stuff. He covered the Logan Paul crypto scam. He's currently in the middle of a big one with Counter-Strike casinos. Who was the one who exposed the Roblox thing? Oh, I don't remember who did that. I want to find that out, actually. I want to find that out. But there's just recently been this uptick in people who are doing journalism on YouTube. And I think they're doing a fantastic job of it because they're not being paid off. Now, granted, there are still people who are paid off on YouTube, 100%. Not to act like they're, everybody on YouTube who does anything journalism is a saint. But there are examples like these two channels that do the research, they present the hard-hitting facts, and they expose a lot of negative stuff. And yeah, they put themselves in harm's way because of it. There's multiple videos on CoffeeZilla's channel when he's been actively threatened by the people he's exposing.
Yeah,
I do want to find out who initially exposed the Roblox kid devs. I don't know if you heard about this whole thing, but this is like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever. Roblox was exploiting children to make their game. I don't know if this was the initial one, but the first one that came up on Google when I looked it up was People Make Games. I don't know if they were the original ones to jump in and expose it. But, yeah. After looking at articles, it was People Make Games. So basically the gist of it was children were playing the game and they were being used by the developers to make things, to code things. They were taking advantage of young developers and they wouldn't pay them. They'd have them work a bunch of hours. I think their what's the word I'm looking for? Starts with a C. It's what you make in return for doing something. Compensation. Their compensation was something like they got some minute amount of Robux or something. Or they were allowed to play the games early. They got a skin in the game. They got a title or whatever. Like it was bad. It was real bad. It also led to multiple situations we can't talk about on YouTube without it getting age restricted. So, because,
Yeah.
of course, random adults interacting with children. But yeah, that's another example. It was the game creators, right? Yeah, not that sorry, I should have been more clear about that. It was not Roblox themselves. It was the creators of the individual games within Roblox. Yes, that's what I meant. I misspoke. My apologies. But yeah, the people like that are revitalizing journalism. They're bringing it back to something relevant. Because for the longest time, journalism has just been trash. If I go to Google right now, I'll swipe the little Google thing on the side of my phone. Let's see. Here you go, Screen Rant. A close call. 7 anime arcs so good they saved the entire show. Okay, that's probably just some random article. Oh, hey, this anime arc is good. This anime arc is good. Here's a hockey one. Here's a sports one. Sports is rife with ones like this. Lightning Star makes big prediction for USA versus Canada final. Who cares? It's misleading. It's deliberately it's clickbait. Obviously, it's clickbait because it's like, oh, which lightning star made a statement? Oh, and what was his prediction? That kind of stuff. You're clickbaiting to get people to read your article.
Yeah.
See, you know what? Scrolling down, I just got one. Hackers planted a Steam game with malware to steal gamers' passwords. That's a title that grabs me because you tell me exactly what I'm going to be reading about. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I want to know what that is. I'll read it. But yeah, there's a bunch of slop when looking through modern journalism. Whether it's putting out nothing articles that are, I swear at this point, there's gotta be a number of them that are AI generated because there's no way these news sites put out 17 articles a day on the most mundane and uninteresting things. There's no way people actually sit there and type these up. It's got to be somebody in Chat GPT. Hey, give me, 7 cool anime arcs. Oh, okay. It's these 7. All right, cool. Now write about them. There's a guy who always makes the PSAs about Discord scams. He's a good one. Find his name for me, because I think I know what you're talking about, but once again, I don't remember what his name is. But yeah, you get all this nonsense, this nothing, and then you get these people who are exposing actual issues.
Yeah.
Hold on just a minute. Is that breaking news? Well, 5 hours ago, but I just saw this. Marvel Rivals Seattle team laid off amidst game success. The game director and his team. This is from Thaddeus Sasser. This is such a weird industry. My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise in Marvel Rivals for NetEase Games. And we're just laid off. Oh well, times are tough all over. Let's find these incredible people new jobs. Today I'm going to start with the inspiring... and then he goes on to talk about his developer friend. Yeah, a whole branch of the game just got laid off.
Damn.
Gaming industry sucks, man. The team fired was the support team from Seattle. Okay. So I love the community notes feature on Twitter because often it does expose scams or outright lies. I think it's a good feature. But this one is just stupid. Because the person says Marvel Rivals director and team laid off, according to posts. And it was posts from the devs who got laid off. Readers added context. The team fired was a support team from Seattle in the US. The main development team for Rivals is headquartered in China. And no one there was fired to our knowledge. Okay? Who cares if they were a support team? They still worked on a successful game. Why did they get canned?
Beats me.
Oh, boy. Yeah, the AAA gaming industry is trash at this point. Honestly, I hope the crash that I predicted happens. But, anyways, to get back on track... Speaking on YouTube journalism, that's how I saw that. I just opened up YouTube and saw that. While I wouldn't know that I'd call him quite a journalist. Some Ordinary Gamers is also really good because there's a lot of stuff that I've learned about because of him. I'd say another one who's usually does more lighthearted stuff is Carl Jobst. He usually does a bunch of speedrunning stuff, but he has also exposed a lot of Billy Mitchell's lies. Him and Some Ordinary Gamers actually exposed the Completionist for his charity fraud. There's a lot of great content creators that do deep dives into that kind of stuff and expose just the scams. I don't remember who it was who initially exposed BetterHelp as well. Who's Billy Mitchell? Billy Mitchell is a guy who was really good at like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, all the classic arcade games. He cheated in his world record. He got exposed, and now he's more known for being the most litigious person on the face of the planet. Because if you so much as say Billy Mitchell cheated or Billy Mitchell, if you bad talk him in any way, he will hit you with a defamation lawsuit. But anyways, I just... See, I mean, yeah, you know what? Some Ordinary Gamers can sometimes stretch out his vids a little bit long, but I personally don't have an issue with it. I don't think I don't think it's that bad. The fact that Critical was used as evidence in the lawsuit against Billy Mitchell. Not just Critical. He was brought to the stand, and they used his farts as evidence in that trial. That is not a lie. So it's the dumbest thing in the world. So, just quick breakdown for anybody who doesn't know about it. Carl Jobst is a YouTuber, covers speedrunning, covers video games, all that. About 4 years ago, he covered Billy Mitchell and his lies. Billy Mitchell sued him. They finally got into court, I think, into this last year. Another YouTuber, Moist Critical, has also made videos on Billy Mitchell. and is in Carl's corner. He's friends with Carl. And in one of Critical's videos, he when I can't remember exactly what he says, but I think he's referencing the efficacy of Billy Mitchell's claims of being the best gamer in the world, and Critical stands up and farts into his microphone and says like that fart was more valuable than Billy Mitchell or whatever. I don't remember exactly what he says, but it's something to that effect. And when they went to trial, they actually brought in Critical for the trial and brought up the video and presented it in trial of him standing up and farting into the microphone. No joke. An angle Billy Mitchell's Billy. You know what? I'll use my one every once in a while curse just because I think the name's funny. Silly Bitchell's lawyers actually presented that as evidence, which is the most remarkable. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's fantastic. But yeah, that's just another example. I think whatever you're looking, if you're looking for information on something, you can go onto YouTube and ignore BBC, ignore CNN, ignore Fox, ignore any of the big news outlets. You can find somebody who does a journalistic deep dive into anything. Whether it's video games, whether it's sports, whether it's current events, you know, there's all sorts of stuff. And I think that's keeping journalism alive, honestly.
Yeah.
My one PG-rated F-bomb. Yeah, that's about as far as I push it. I try not to curse too much, but that is admittedly the funniest nickname I've ever heard for anybody. But yeah, and speaking on journalism, I think this is something that's probably going to get blown up pretty soon, if it hasn't already. Warner Brothers. They suck. They suck real bad. There's been a lot of evidence of that over the past few years with things like the Batwoman movie being fully produced and them just canning it. Because why not? You know, there's evidence like that. There's stuff like that that it's just like, not a good look. Now, they are copyright claiming any YouTube video that has Minecraft music in it. Now, you may ask.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, wow is the right response to that. You may be questioning, wait a minute, Warner Brothers didn't make Minecraft. Mojang did. And you'd be absolutely right. Warner Brothers didn't make Minecraft, but they're making the Minecraft movie, so they have the right to use the Minecraft music. So they apparently believe that means they have free reign to just copyright claim anybody who uses Minecraft music, even though they're not the owners. They just have permission to use it. Yeah, no, it's vile. It's incredibly scummy. Warner Brothers sucks. I don't know how else to put it. That company sucks. They're terrible. That's something that pisses me off more than anything. I've gotten a number of my videos that have been copyright claimed by some random jackass who is just like, oh, hey, you have the Halo music, and I'm going to say I own that. Okay. Sure. And there's really not much I mean, obviously I'm not making money off of it, but it's still frustrating to look back at one of my old videos and say, like, copyright, restricted for whatever you know what? There are certain ones, it's fair. Fallout New Vegas, there's definitely a couple of times that I got some old-timey songs. I don't know how they're not in public domain yet, but, those I can understand. When I played Watch Dogs 2 and I forgot to turn off the copyrighted music, I can understand. That makes sense. That's reasonable. But when somebody like Warner Brothers, who just has the rights to use the Minecraft music for the movie they're producing, decides to go on some, just start flopping their nuts around everywhere, thinking they own the place, copyrighting people who are playing Minecraft, by the way, the game that the music comes from, which I don't care what game that you're playing, if the music comes from the game and it's not an outside artist that the game is just using their music, there should never be a copyright for that. Because you should have you should have inherent permission to use that music because you paid for the game. I paid for Halo. I should be able to use that music. I paid for Minecraft. I should be able to use that music. I paid for Dark Souls. I paid for these games, and I am playing the game. I'm not even pulling the song out of the game and popping it into another video. I'm just playing the game. The music is in the background. I shouldn't be copyrighted for that. But there are people that abuse YouTube's copyright system, and it's really gross. And it's especially gross when a company like that does it. But I can actually go back. I don't know that there's a ton. Okay, right here. Storming Stormvale. My second episode of my recent Elden Ring playthrough has a copyright claim on it, a content ID claim, for Melania Blade of Mikola from Elden Ring, quote-unquote, live. I didn't even fight Melania in the stream, so her song never shows up. But I still have a copyright claim because some jackass thinks they can just throw copyright claims around. And it's frustrating to deal with. But there are other instances. If I scroll down, let's see. I know it's happened in some other games. I think Halo was one of them. You know what, Lego Batman? That one's fair, because I think that uses... Yeah, it's a lot of Danny Elfman music. So, okay. Fair enough. Let's keep going through. Okay, I'm playing horror games on Halloween. That's a game I have no idea if it's copyrighted. I won't remark on that. Oh, here we go. From my original Elden Ring playthrough. Copyright. What is it for? Saxo by Franarchy. It's not even an Elden Ring song! It's not even in the game, and I somehow got copyrighted for it. I got copyrighted for a Hollow Knight menu theme. What are you talking about? It's just because some people think they can get away with abusing this. And it's something YouTube needs to fix. But also, if you do this, I think you're a bad person. I think you're a piece of trash. I don't care if you're an individual who's just doing this, or if you're a multi-billion-dollar company. You suck. So I will say, until this whole thing is resolved, I'm not streaming Minecraft. I don't even know if I'll play Minecraft until this whole thing is resolved. Because frankly, it's that infuriating. that some
Yeah.
company, and again, it doesn't affect me personally in this instance because I'm not making money off of YouTube, but to anybody who is, that's devastating
Yeah.
because it's not like, oh no, I just got a copyright claim, I gotta remove it. Warner Brothers takes all the money from that. They're probably raking in millions of dollars off of the number of claims they're putting up against YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not, I don't feel
It's
that's an
just dumb.
exaggeration in the slightest. Yeah, it is dumb. But I legitimately think that they're probably raking in an obscene amount of money from doing that. And it's freaking frustrating. I I will continue to hate corporations. Similar to this, look up Harmony Gold against FASA. It takes hours to piece together the timeline. Minecraft YouTubers now got justice. I mean, they don't have justice, though, because Warner Brothers is still copywriting stuff. If you're making the joke about the bad Minecraft YouTubers, all right, sure. But the thing is, there's a number of, you want to look at like Mumbo Jumbo. I don't remember a lot of the newer Minecraft streamers or YouTubers, whoever. Mumbo Jumbo is one of the Redstone guys that I know of. But anybody who makes any sort of money off of YouTube through Minecraft is being hamstrung right now. And it's unfortunate. The same thing was happening to NHL YouTubers for a bit. The NHL was... Yeah. Now, the NHL did fix it. It was a mistake. It was not intentional by the NHL. They weren't going on a warpath like Warner Brothers was. But still, there were multiple hockey content creators who couldn't put NHL footage in their videos. Not even full games, mind you. They're doing a 3-minute recap of something that happened in a game. And because they had footage of hockey players in the NHL, it got copyright claimed. Again, the NHL has fixed that, and they're not being malicious like Warner Brothers was, but it's bad. It's bad for the platform. But you got anything?
No, that's it. That's all I got. I mean, I don't really have anything to even talk about. I'm way behind in all the stuff going on with that. I've been in my playing Civ runs.
Do you want to talk about some of the...
So
I won't call it drama, but the complaints?
A lot of complaints have been hailed at the UI, but then again, the staff at Phyrexis have brought up that, like, hey, yeah, we're already working on it. So it's not that crazy. It's like one of those, like, okay, like they're planning on working on it.
Right.
But it's at the same time.
I think it does fall into the same thing though. There's a lot of game companies that do it. Release a game in a bad state and then say, we'll fix it later.
The thing with Civ is it isn't actually in such a bad state. Is like it's very playable, it's very replayable. That if you're going to, the whole problem that a bunch of people I've seen are having is it's like, I don't want to pay $80 for a video game.
That's
that I'm going to play once and then never play again. This is not one of those video games. Yeah, this is not one of those video games where it's a once playthrough kind of thing.
Right.
This is very much, oh man, you are probably going to be playing this for a hot minute.
Yeah, see, like let's take a look at some of the big. Oh, like here we go. Avowed. I don't want to pay $70 for Avowed.
It's on sale right now. Or it was.
It's not anymore.
Uh,
But yeah, they're Avowed. I don't want to pay $70 for that. Let's see. What other Oh, I mean it's an older example, but I don't want to pay $70 for Skull and Bones.
yeah.
There's not many games I would want to pay $70 for.
This game is very quickly like, ah, great, what's going on? This is very much a game where it's like, oh man, I can sink 100 out. I think, hold on, library. I'm at almost 170 hours worth of playing already.
Jeez. You've played Civ 7 more than I've played Elden Ring. On Steam, at least. I have to clarify that. I obviously have my PlayStation stats that are unaccounted for, but especially since I destroyed my PlayStation. But, that's a whole other thing. I don't think I ever sent that image to the Discord. I sent it to Tyler's
I've
Discord.
seen
Uh I'll talk about that real quick. I smashed my PlayStation. When I was sick with pneumonia, I was like, oh, I watched a movie on my PlayStation. I watched Boondock Saints, not Boondock Saints. Wrong, wrong freaking. Yeah, no, Boondock Saints. I said Boondock Saints, and then I thought of Boondocks, the the anime for black people.
Hmm.
But no, Boondock Saints, which is absolutely phenomenal movie, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it. Um,
I have.
yeah, I love that. But then I was like, okay, I'm gonna boot up Elden Ring. Oh wait, I forgot my thing corrupted and uninstalled all my video games, so I had to fix it. I had to fix it. No big deal. I've had to reformat the damn thing before. So
Yeah.
I'll just fix it. I'll just do it again. Uh but I just hadn't touched my PlayStation very much after I had done that, so I hadn't reinstalled Elden Ring. I'm like, okay, I'll reinstall Elden Ring. I want to play some Elden Ring while I'm sick. Why not? Elden Ring gets a little bit done installing. I open it up. I watched the whole tutorial. I died to the Scion. A crafted Scion. Then I go through the little tutorial area. I kill the soldier of Godric. Cool. I'm ready to play the game. The game's not finished installing. What? Why did you let me play it then? Okay, fine. I'll put my
Yeah, wow.
I'll shut down my console. And then I'll open it up later. Shut down my console. Go to turn it on. Does the same thing it does whenever it corrupts. Starts to turn on and then shuts off.
Oh.
Only way I can turn it on is, or I can fix it, is by wiping the drive again. I didn't plan to do that, so I waited until I was no longer sick, and then I proceeded to smash my PS4 with a hammer. That is not a joke. I literally took a hammer and sat there and beat the piss out of this stupid console until I was sure that it would no longer function. And then I threw it in the trash, and it is probably in some dumpster in a waste facility at this point. And I don't even care. Only thing I ripped out of it, the one thing that I made sure to do was I ripped out there it is. I ripped out the hard drive. Because I originally bought this on eBay, and it had the same issue where the drive that came in it was corrupting. So I bought one. I bought a 2 terabyte solid state drive to pop into this thing. And it worked like a dream until randomly one day the console just decided to not function. I had to reset the thing on 4 separate occasions when it started doing it again. And every time you do it, it wipes your hard drive. And because I didn't intend on paying for PlayStation Plus, I lost access to all my cloud save stuff. So, I lost things like my Soul Level 1 character on Dark Souls 3, like the Elden Ring character that I first beat the game with. I lost those because of PlayStation. So I destroyed it. I took the hard drive out, and I just destroyed it. And you know what? I don't regret it. In the slightest. I don't know that I can use the solid state drive in my computer. If I can, I will. But, yeah, PS4 is dead. I now have only 4 game consoles. Can you name the 4 that I have? I want to know.
PS2.
Yes. That's one of them.
Nintendo 64.
Yes. That's 2.
PC. That's easy.
I'm not counting the PC.
Oh, great. Xbox 360.
Yep.
And, okay, here comes the question. Is it older or... Is it newer or older than a 360?
Older.
Older. Okay.
I actually think it's the oldest console I own.
Game Boy.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. I'll give you that one. I didn't think about the Game Boy that I had. I was thinking more home systems, but yes, I do have a Game Boy.
Okay. Well, I named 4.
You did name 4. I can't fault you on that. It's not an Atari, Ian. You're a little bit newer than that. Definitely newer than that. I think it's... Oh, when did it come out? $1988. Okay. 1988 is when it came out. 1989 in North America.
Oh, God.
Boom! Got it, Razorbolt. Sega Genesis.
Sega, okay.
Yep. Look over to my my TV that I have in here, and it's lined up from right to left. 360, N64, PS2, Genesis. I'd love to collect more consoles. I'd need to play on them more, too. Definitely the N64. I just don't think I have the AV cables for it anymore.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Yeah.
AV cables.
Yeah, audio video cables, dude. PS2 needs the same thing. The Genesis, at least, I think, is one of the... I don't own one of the like original Genesis. I think it's one of the re-releases that's smaller.
Yeah.
So it's if you really want to get that anal about it, it's not an OG Genesis, but you know, an OG PS1. Ooh, Oh, Crash Bandicoot 1. Oh, dude, I loved Crash Bandicoot and I loved Spyro as a kid. Those are my jams.
Okay, I don't think if I were to be like, Ed, can you name all the ones in my house? I think you would.
Oh,
We have too many.
yeah, I was going to say, I think you definitely have too many because you have one of each kind of Xbox, right?
Um, on my desk, I have one of each kind, except for the original.
You don't have you don't own the original Xbox?
We own it. It's just not in my room on my
Okay,
desk.
not on your desk. Gotcha. Um so if you're talking on your desk, how many do you have?
Technically four, if we're including certain some one that we said that you weren't
The
including.
PC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the X 1 and 360? Or is it the S 1 and 360?
X
Series.
S.
I guess it's Xbox Series, whichever one. Then Xbox One.
Yes, I have that one. I have the Xbox One, the 360.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, could you name the final one? Oh wait, I do have one more. My bad. I have five.
Okay. Not counting your PC.
PC. Yeah, I have four not counting PC, five counting PC.
Okay. I also have a Wii Razorbolt. It's currently with my parents because my nephew loves it. So every time he goes over to my parents, he plays the Wii, which I just love to see. Glad that thing's getting multi-generational usage. What game consoles would you own? Is it older than the 360 or newer?
It is much newer.
Much newer. Is it another Xbox?
No.
You don't own a PlayStation. I know that. So. Oh, the Switch.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why that took me so long.
The Nintendo Switch that I use so rarely that my father, after his heart surgery, used it. And I did not know until afterwards.
No, Bug, I'm not playing DS2 tomorrow. I need to take a break from Souls-likes. Besides, the next one I'll be playing anyways is I'm going to get a PS3 emulator and play Demon Souls finally. You have a complete copy of Skyward Sword, manual, soundtrack disc, and everything? That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I don't think I have any crazy, like, insane video. I have a Pokemon Stadium. I have a Pokemon Stadium cartridge. Do I have anything else? All right, see you later, Bug. Hold on, I'm gonna go check and see what other games I have.
Food or okay. 21 food, yeah.
Okay. These are the PS2. Well, I guess not just PS2 because one of these is a PlayStation 1 game. But these are the PlayStation games I own. Final Fantasy VII for the OG PlayStation.
Okay.
Have never played through that whole thing. Hitman Blood Money for the PS2. The Hobbit for the PS2. Madden 02, NCAA Football 05, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, the same copy that I played as a kid. Madden 03, NCAA 02, NHL 06. I have a lot of these old Maddens. Oh, yeah, Lego Star Wars, the video game. Once again, the original copy that I played as a kid. I didn't go get my Game Boy stuff, Razor, because that's in the other room. But I actually do have my Pokemon Yellow cartridge sitting up here on my shelf next to my desk. Pokemon Yellow, I have Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby, and Sapphire. You have The Hobbit for the OG Xbox? That game is weird. That game is real weird. But when it comes to N64, I got Star Wars Rogue Squadron, the OG Castlevania, Gauntlet Legends, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Some old games. Oh, boy. You have Persona 3. You had Persona 3 Fez for PS2 and you had one? Okay. I don't have any of the old Persona games. There's also a lot of games that I used to have on the PlayStation 2 that I wish I still had. Like, I had Battlefront 2. One of my favorite games of all time. Actually, I have that on Steam and I've been working on setting it up. Because for some reason it's got some weird aspect ratios. It doesn't want to record properly on OBS. But I would love if we could do a multiplayer stream of that.
Of what?
Battlefront 2.
Oh. If only that worked right on Steam.
Oh, it worked fine for me. The menus were a bit different than they were on the PS2, but all in all, I think the game functioned. This is not, by the way, this is not the remastered version. This is the OG version that they have on Steam.
Oh.
No, Ian, not Siege. This wasn't PS2 either. This was N64. It was the original Rainbow Six. No tagline, just Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Because then you had Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 that came out, I believe, on the PS2. And I know 2 was on the 360 and probably PS3 as well. Ian, not Siege.
Siege? You mean siege? There's a G in it.
Yeah, Siege. You don't have to go Siege.
Yeah,
Six Siege.
It's a hard G.
But yeah, I'd love to play. I wish I still had the OG Battlefront, but what other? I know I had a lot of other PS2 games, but anyway.
I think that's all we can get for tonight.
I was gonna say, you got your quote.
Saved it earlier.
'Cause I don't.
Of course you don't. You never come prepared.
No, of course not. Why would I? What's your Persona character's name, Ian? Ketchero, but you forgot his last name. So you just lesbian because his mom is one. Okay.
Did they take it down? Oh wait, I got it. I gave up on life and death never bothered to find me.
Nice. Oh, you didn't get a quote today. That's fine, Razor. Oh my gosh, I'm frantically trying to find one and I'm failing. We'll go with an Undertale one. I'd go to hell, but I'm all out of vacation days. Those burger pants from Undertale. But yeah, that's all we got for this time. I know most of this podcast was used up on Mr. Pirate Software. But tis what it is. But I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow to play something. I'll figure it out. I don't know what we're playing tomorrow, but maybe we'll play a retro game. Oh, you... Quoting me from yesterday. I finally killed the Femboy with a hammer.
Sir Crumpets, 2025.
2025. I shouted in triumph after smashing a twink it with a giant hammer made of rock and an axe. I used both. No, not Nine Souls. I won't be playing Nine Souls again. Maybe Doom. Maybe OG Doom. Maybe I'll do, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But either way, have a great rest of your night, everybody.
Tally ho.
Man, no energy? You're just going to be like, tally ho? Come on.
Tally ho.
There we go. Tally ho.
You didn't even fucking say it, you.
I was waiting for you to say it this time. What, we can't switch things up?